Well, here's my tower. It came down last summer, July, in one of our bad dust storms. Here's the damage it did to it. Had a big storm come out of the east, blew against it. It pushed it over this way, and I had this stand right here built to hold it up, to support it while I put the antenna on the end out here. So I had a hex beam on the end. So the stand I just left in place when I stood the tower up, so when it came down, it landed back on the stand. So you can see what it did to it here. It damaged it right there where it hit, and then it folded the top section up pretty dramatically right here. Bent this, tweaked that along the top. So I think I can straighten all that up. I've got to cut this one really bad bent one out, see if I can straighten all the others. And going down the tower here, we'll take a look, show you how it failed. What failed down here, as you can see, the two west legs, I guess you'd call them, ones on the right side of the screen there, are still in place. But this guy right here, that rivet right there, pulled out. In fact, this one right here and right here is two rivets that failed. And they failed here and here. And it just pulled out and let the whole tower fall all the way over. So I'll get my winch. I've got a winch that bolts on right here and goes out there and lifts the tower. That's how I stand it up, is putting an electric winch on this. So I'll put my winch back on, lift it up, and then pull the my stand out, slip it inside, slip the tower inside it. And what I'm building right here is kind of a bench, two supports on each side of these legs here. And I'll get the tower down, lay it in that, raise the back up to get it level. And that gives me a platform to work on here, to jack against it, bend it, whatever. And I'll build some cross braces somewhere across here, whatever the height needs to be able to jack against. And hopefully, with a little patience and persistence, I can get this old dude straightened back out and back in service. So this is just the start. So today, I'm fabricating all these legs and everything for the base of it. Get all that done and welded up. Everything's cut right now, laying on the ground. So what I've got to do now is assemble it all up, tack it together, check my fit, get it all where I want it, and then weld it up. So we will continue this. Okay, here's what I got done today. Got this platform built. So what I'm going to do tomorrow is I'm going to take the tower here, hook my winch up and raise the tower up. Just get it off of this stand right here. Then I'm going to slide the stand out and lower the tower down and slip it through on this. And I want the tower to lay right across these two guys right here. You can see they're pretty even right across. So the idea is going to be lay it in here, and then be able to work on it and bend and adjust or whatever I need to do. And the thought is I'll put a crossbar somewhere in here, very similar to that one, but down lower, and down in here somewhere where I can push against it with a jack, and hopefully straighten out some of these bent spots on here, you know, like these right there, some of that up there, get this lower section straightened out, and then come on down here and start cutting this apart and straightening this up. This is going to be the biggest chore and take most of the work here, I think, all these spots all along here, but we'll give it a try, see what we get done. Okay, here we are out here this morning, getting this thing in position. Got it slipped through the end. Here's the base. I'm back here, I've got my lifting apparatus, tilt-up apparatus hooked up, the winch up there. Cable around it at that point. Come on up here. Here's the winch. Works really well this way. I can stand this whole thing up and down from this pick point just like this. So anyway, coming next, I got the cable loops, the wire supports out of the way, one more to slip off, and then slide this thing on in, lower it down, set it on the bed. So to be continued. Okay, here we are back at it again. I've got it mounted up in the jig here to straighten it up. Got the back end all cut loose down here. Show you this. Just took a hacksaw and finished cutting the bends off where they were. There, that one was already out. That one had to cut, and there's the bottoms. How they look. So we're up here. I've jacked on the top part, the outer bottom section with this, and got this pretty good. It's got a little bow down to it because I got some pressure on it. But I'm working on now, may need a little more tweaking here and on the other side, but it's getting close enough here where I can probably live with this. Next is this. I went ahead and cut this loose so I could get it up off the ground. The nose down there was actually down in the dirt, had to dig a hole to get some clearance. But I've got to get this guy right here out, and got to bend right here is my worst back bend. Straighten it out there. This one is bent right here, so that I'll probably have to straighten with a jack or porta power or something. So anyway, here's where I'm at so far with the whole thing. The whole frame is working out beautifully on this, so we will continue working on it, try to get this end extended out and go from there. Okay, we've got most things straightened up here well enough. I've cut the top section off. It's gone now. So we got one leg here to straighten up. I think I can straighten it up. These two are okay the way they're sitting. Everything looking down there looks okay. Maybe a little tweak here and there, but all of this looks well enough to go ahead with it. So straighten out that one. See if I can straighten the other piece up. Now, as you can see, this has got a pretty good tweak to it. You can kind of see the angle right there where it's all bent and tweaked. Even with the rotor base plate, you can see how much it's out of square. And the end is bent up pretty good. Got a bend there, a bend there on the upper bar. Same thing on the lower one on both sides. So, might wind up replacing all of that. Looks like a little bit of a tweak right in here. Might cut that off, save the braces, and just replace it. Might even shorten it a little bit. Ain't gonna hurt it to be a couple feet shorter. 54 feet to the top right there now, and I've got all this sticking out, so this thing's really close to 60 feet for the hex beam, fully extended. So don't necessarily need all that. A couple feet ain't gonna make any difference. So we'll see what we can do with this. So this is the next phase, is to cut this thing apart and salvage what we can. Okay, yesterday I didn't take any video, but I did do a lot of straightening work. The second section had a bow in it. Wouldn't let the top section slip out through it. Kind of had a spot. Still got a little bit of a bow right there in the bottom section. I'll do that later on. But I got the second section in pretty good shape now. The top runs in and out, so the next plan is going to be get the base off of here. I'm going to unbolt this, take these bent pieces and rotten pieces out, Do the same on the ends of the bottom of the tower legs here. Get those out. I got some new material that will go right inside of here. Replace these, so I extended up here. Just put bolts through both ends of it. Good and strong. It's good heavier gauge pipe than what was here before. So that's the plan right now, is to get that done. Put it back on here. Put it on, stand it up, and extend it up and down a couple of times to make sure everything moves good, that I don't need to straighten anymore. And then we'll go about building the top of it again. Okay, so here's the bottom piece. You know, a bit farther away. Not a lot to it here. Pretty simple, pretty thin metal, a bunch of it. So this is just what the bottom of the tower completes the legs. So we'll replace these guys where they're bent so bad. Get all these cleaned out. Do the same on the bottoms here. That one's out. Just need to get the rivet out. That one there, still got to get that one out. Cut the rivets. Get that one cleaned out. Put it back together and hook it up, stand it up. Okay. Turn this noisy fan off. Alright, got the rivets out of these. Got this one started out. It's moving a little bit. This one got pulled out when it came, so everything's gone. That one's going to be a real booger. We'll see. It's all up inside, nothing to get hold of yet, so we'll see what we can do there. Okay, got him running. Pair of vice grips on it. Tapping it out. Moved it up a little bit. It's coming out. Have it out here in just a second. Now this guy here, he's the one that was broke off flush. There was no way to get a hold of him. I tried to get a hold of him to pull him out. So the only other solution was, since it's a hollow tube all the way to the top, I just drove it on in, all the way up, way past here where it won't be of any interference. So this is all empty. So all three of these are cleaned out now. So it's a matter of getting the other pieces cut and slip them in here. Okay, here we go. We got the new inserts, sleeves, cut to length and installed. The holes all cleaned out. A better view of the whole thing. Straighten it up a little bit. The legs are tweaked a little bit on the bottom. I have to straighten them up, but shouldn't be a big deal. Should be easy enough to do. So you see my dirty shop all in the background. There we go. I didn't show this, but I did drill all these guys out. Got me a bolt in each leg right now so I can fit it up. So what I'm going to do right now is slide it on in there and hopefully start drilling these holes up here and get bolts for all of them. Okay, there she is, all back in, all the way across. So just got to drill the holes out and get some bolts in them, and then I can get this thing over and hook it back into the base here and maybe stand it up and see how everything's doing. Here's something I just noticed, if this camera will see it, is this wind was so hard that it actually bent the base plate right there in front of that big bolt. Bent it up. So as a result, the tower, she's leaning a little bit. So luckily, when I put this down though, these big bolts, and even the smaller bolts there, what I did is there's a nut on the bottom side of those guys. And I can just go in there so you can see them. Yeah, I can just go in there and loosen the top nut, and I can adjust the level of the tower by adjusting these nuts. I did that on purpose just in case something like this ever came up. Not that I ever thought it was going to fall over. I just thought I might need to adjust it a little bit initially. I never did, but now's the time. binding up in a few spots. I have to figure those out. Okay, bringing it back down now. Look at it, got a few adjustments to make in it, but it does work. Okay, we got it back up on the stand today, working on it. What I'm doing here is I trim the end back here. I'm gonna extend it out with these pipes here. So I've got some sleeves that go inside, pretty heavy wall stuff. Gonna put 5 feet back in it, which is about what we broke out of it. So I'm gonna use this big straight edge here. Show you that in a second, to keep this guy straight and level in line with this guy. Alright, got a straight edge here hooked to it. Keep everything straight, so I'll get the welder out, tack this guy up, and see how she does. Here's where I'm at right now. I've got the new pieces welded back on. Coming out here to the end. The quandary I'm having right now, and I'll figure it out, is you can see here and here the gaps are different. And these are all the same length. So I've got about 1/8 of an inch about difference. This end here, when it fell over and hit, it tweaked it a little bit. And I don't know if you can see it from this angle, but I can. And so it's probably better from a different angle. Let's see here, maybe. Anyway, I'm thinking about it. We'll see what we're going to do. Quick update here. Got it all welded together. Going down here, putting the bracing in. Getting these all tacked in. Everything looks pretty straight so far. Come down here. Kind of get an eyeball down there. See, looking pretty good. Can't see there, that's in the way. Right there, so not too bad. Okay, got her back together. Let's stand her up again. I'm going to do a function test on it, run it up and down. Let's see how everything does. That's pretty close. I can wiggle it in by hand from here. Go straight up. Yep, will do. Okay, I've got extended, just the top section extended out right now. A little bit of binding as she goes up. Let's get around here. Doesn't look too bad. Oh no. Okay, the goal today has been achieved. Got the rotor back in, the mast back in, tested the rotor, and it works. Had quite a fit with it though, dismantled the whole thing one time, tore it all down, made sure the rotor was working. It wouldn't work at first. Turns out the brake wasn't releasing, and what was causing the brake not to release was too much wire in the lead line coming up to the from the rotor controller to the rotor. So I had a bad connection, fixed that, and thought it was going to work, and it didn't. So I wound up shortening the length of it. I had a lot of extra wire there anyway, I just didn't want to cut it. So I went ahead and cut it, spliced it back in. Works great now. So that's all it was, just too much wire. The current was reduced enough that it wouldn't energize the solenoid for the brake release. So all works now, looking good.